obligated to yourself to at least explore that Vikings thing, or just how would you explain it to people last year when that opportunity maybe was there?
Yeah, just the way I have explained it. Signed a 7-year contract with Michigan, and when that 7 years it was up, I mean, I wanted to see, yeah, maybe came very close to winning a Super Bowl championship. Maybe this is the time to finish that job. But in the end, I really couldn't leave our team. I mean, the players on the team right now, it'd be like losing a body part to not be able to coach them. It really would. And we'll chase the national championship. See if we can win that.
All right.
Coach, you went 8-1 in big time play last year, won the championship. Just curious about that one blemish against Michigan State. What's your mindset going into this year's rendition of the Michigan State game, and the fact that you haven't beaten them in a couple of years? What's the mindset?
Yeah, that's our goal. Beat Michigan State and Ohio State in the same year, win the Big Ten championship, win the national championship. We want to accomplish as many of those or all of those as we can.
This is a football one, but I wanted to ask about Ronnie Bell and kind of the impact that he made on the team last year, despite the fact that he was not, taking snaps on the field, and what you saw from him in the offseason as he rehabbed from injury as well.
Yeah, great question. He was fabulous. It's really discouraging to get a torn ACL in the first, play one half of one game of the season. And as hard as that was, just to watch him, literally grind through it, and watch him coach the younger players, become a coach, and do his rehab, and then attack it when it really became time when the doctors start turning them loose, to strengthen and to jog and then run and then cut. So key performance indicators, speed and agility. He is PRing now to pre-injury performances. So he's PRing in speed, miles per hour, in plyo stairs, in 3-cone. It's awesome. He appears right now faster, stronger, in a lot of ways better than before the injury.
On the left there.
Last season in the Ohio State matchup, you were able to create enough pressure to affect C.J. Stroud and have an impact on that game. I guess, what impressed you the most about him? What sort of things maybe set him apart from other quarterbacks? And if you can't create that kind of pressure again, how does that change that matchup?
Yeah, he's really accurate. Tremendous amount of ability to throw the appropriate ball, and he really doesn't get flustered, even when you put pressure on him and hit him. It's really checks darn near every box. Really outstanding quarterback.
Aaron.
Jim, we saw your offense last year. You wanted to run the football. You kind of smash ball style of play. What do you want the identity of the offense to be this year?
More of the same of that, and then also I really believe our passing game is going to make some get even better too. I thought it was good. I thought it's got a chance to be really, really good. The quarterbacks are good, the tight ends are good, the receivers are really good. Lean on that as well. Be like a pitcher having a great fastball and a great curve. I think we have the potential for that. There has been some real times where I've watched practice and go, holy cow! Look at these guys running around, the way they're moving, the way they're catching, the way our guys are throwing. So we definitely want to capitalize on that.
You guys really dominated the line for both sides of the ball against Ohio State. Did you expect that if so, why?
I can't remember if I expected that. I remember that's what we were shooting for, but I can't remember expecting that.
Michael? Jim, when you evaluate some of your assistant coaches, how do you sort of weigh what they do with the current players versus what success or not success they might be having as recruiters?
Could you repeat that?
When you evaluate your assistant coaches, how do you weigh what they do with the current players and developing the players already in your program versus what success or not success they might be having on the recruiting trail?
I think you can be really good at both, you know, and I think our guys are, and you know, just they're all so successful as coaches. They've all been successful as coaches at it, you know, at everywhere they've been. So my advice to them is just keep doing you, but if there is something that you want to get a little bit better at, then you can just work a little bit harder at it.
Jim, you've had several international players come through your program, Ajabo, Julius, Welshoff this year. What are the differences in recruiting an international player versus a player from the United States? And is it even more different now because of NIL and some of the different differences for international players with NIL?
I don't know if I have a great answer for you there. I mean, it sure hasn't seemed any different, you know. Not too different anyway. Recruiting Julius and coaching Julius or David Ajabo.
Is there something about your program you feel like fits for players with international backgrounds?
Yeah, it probably does. You know, I mean, it's a real specialty of our whole university.
Jim, how did Cade respond to starting last season, but then not being told that he's a starter entering fall camp? And then what does that say about him?
Who said he wasn't entering as the starter to fall camp?
How did he respond to that news, though?
What news? Who said he wasn't the starter entering fall camp?
Well, you said him and JJ were both going to be tough to beat out as starters.
You not know that? No.
Yeah, but I didn't say he wasn't the starter.
Jim, is he the starter?
Yeah, Cade's a starting quarterback. He's going to be. We line up first practice. He's going to be taking he'll be with the first team. Now, eventually over the training camp, you know, JJ will get the same opportunity. He'll get the same opportunity. You know, that Cade will. They're both going to get a ton of reps, and you know, there'll be time to have that competition and determine who the starter quarterback is for the first game.
So when the quarterback competition is as tight as it is, how do you see them embrace that challenge without it getting maybe too combative?
Yeah, it's a great word. Competitive, not combative. I mean, that's what we strive for, and that's exactly what we had last year. And both guys are great guys. I mean, they both team guys, and you know, they're both driven. You know, they're both dreaming of being that guy. They're both putting in the work the entire off season to make that happen, and so that's what we'll be shooting for again. You know, competitive and not combative.
Coach, when you were the head coach at Stanford, you competed regularly against USC and UCLA. Just what's your perception of those programs, and what will they bring to the Big Ten down the road?
Yeah, great programs, great academic programs. Be a great fit, I think. You know, personally, I'm an old school guy. You know, I kind of like strong West Coast conference, a strong Southeast conference, a strong Midwest conference, a strong East Coast conference. But things are different now. Things have changed. There'll be probably not the last either, I would guess, but we'll see. I'm glad we're in it. You know, should be a heck of a ride.
John? Jim, you lost Coach Moeller not long ago. Can you share a memory or two that will always stay with you?
Yeah, just a great man. When I was coming here to play, I was Coach Mo was the offensive coordinator, and then like right after signing day, Bill McCartney went to Colorado. Coach Moeller got moved to defense and was defensive coordinator. Andy Moeller was in my class. You know, Coach Mo just one of the all-time great ones. Great coach, great man, and you know, he'll be just don't quite make them like that, it seems. You know, time for guys like us to start standing up and being great football guys too. So he'll be missed. I had a funny, he was funny. It was so many great things he'd say, you know, quotes he'd say. I told the guys on the Big Ten Network earlier that he had one that my dad would always say, "We're in a pear tree now. We're in a pear tree." And you knew that was a good thing. You know, we were in a good spot because we're in a pear tree. Don't know why being in a pear tree was a good spot. Maybe it was a partridge in a pear tree from the song, but my dad would say it, "We're in a pear tree." And I always thought it was my dad's saying. But my dad told me 2 weeks ago when Coach Mo passed that that was a Coach Moeller saying. So something that's, you know, been with me. What else, Dad? What else was a Coach Moeller, you know, that you've said? But yeah, I know they were great friends and coaches together on the Michigan staff, and you know, heart goes out to the Moeller family. Condolences. Gary Moeller's a great man.
I don't know if you were able to see your daughter's TikToks, but they've surfaced and become extremely popular. And we don't get often to see you in a non-football world, and we know you love football. What was it like to get away for as long as you did, and what's your reaction to just how viral those went?
Yeah, a couple people called and said that they thought, tell Grace she did a great job. She's like a 5-star on TikTok, etc. And I didn't know until like she'd done a bunch of them, I guess. I mean, all of a sudden she was filming me like, "What are you doing? You tracking me, Grace?" She goes, "Yeah, Dad, I'm tracking you. I'm making TikTok videos and people are laughing at you and they think that they're really funny." And so that was kind of it right up until the last day of the trip. And I don't think she put this one in a video, but the last day we were staying at a hotel where there was many models, male models from Dolce and Gabbana walking around the hotel. And so I got my 2 nieces, my 3 daughters are on the trip, and my mom, and me, Jack, and my father, Jack, are the only three boys on the trip. So we're at dinner, and I guess 2 of them were sitting near us, and they said those guys are models from, I'm like, "What, models? Male models? Where?" And they're like, "Dad, shut up, Dad, you're embarrassing us, you're the worst." "What are you talking about, models? Those guys over there?" And they're like, "Dad," they're getting all red-faced, so, "You're the worst, most embarrassing dad ever." Okay, you want to see embarrassing dad ever? I walked over there, asked the 2 young men if they wouldn't mind posing for a picture with my daughters, and so they were really red-faced. But then they kind of went into model pose, my daughters did, and then 5 minutes later, they were texting it to their friends about. So I imagine I was able to accomplish being the most embarrassing and making it also made their day at the same time. So, yeah, pretty cool. She didn't put that one in there, did she?
Jim, you were saying how you seem happy because you're happy, and you were happy for your players to experience all the success they had last year. But just trying to dig in a little, you know, Michigan was basically a 500 program for the 7 years before you got here. Now you've been here 7 years, and you're coming off a Big Ten championship and a trip to a playoff at a place that you love, and you've sort of restored Michigan's place in the college football landscape. Like, and I know you're not done, and you want to win a national championship, and this isn't the end. But like, what does it mean to you to have that Michigan is now at this point, and it's the place that you love, that you came back to try to restore?
Wow. There would be a lot of layers peeling back on the onion on that one. That would require a lot of peeling back. Yeah, just stick to, like, we're gonna finish up our trip around Michigan, and then get started with practice on the 3rd. I mean, that's really what's right in front of us. And the trip has been great, by the way, just a blast. It's been educational. It's been team bonding. It's been opportunities for servant leadership, and it's been fun. And lastly, it's been something that's kind of just taken our mind off of some of the stress and worry of starting training camp. So maybe that's another reason I'm kind of in a good mood. We're not just sitting around, at our domiciles waiting for practice to start. We're out there, connecting and with people and having a good time. So that's different. Maybe Rayner can come up with some kind of plot to why that won't be the right thing to do, but that's different than years past. But that's what we're doing, and we're having fun doing it. We're having a blast. Nowhere we'd rather be.
Got time for a few more questions here. Andy?
Jim, I know that you've used the phrase transformational, not transactional regarding NIL. I know that Ryan Day told the Ohio State Boosters they need $13 million to keep their roster intact.
Yeah.
When you heard that comment, I'm just curious how that came across your desk and what your thoughts were.
My thoughts were I think we can do more. I think maybe we can even double that at Michigan. I think that's possible. And I think it's going in a terrific direction that way. I mean, me, I've always been for NIL. I believe players should have a share in the revenues, and I think that's something that's really possible at Michigan. So, and I think that's where we're headed.
When you say revenue, do you mean like literally from the school and the TV contracts versus the third-party providers?
Yeah, or the Big Ten even. They use their name, image, and likeness on the TV broadcasts. They're the ones signing the mega TV deals, and a new one's coming in 2024. Why can't that be an NIL deal right from the Big Ten, and right from because that's who's negotiating the TV deals, and that's where the big money is. So.
Austin?
Yeah, just to follow up on that. So, a revenue share, you're saying, coming from the conference in return to the players for participating.
For using their name, image, and likeness.
Kevin Warren earlier advocated for a uniform federal regulation of NIL as opposed to the different state laws that are out there right now. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like there are differences in how NIL is being administered in different places?
No, I don't know. I don't know all the facts on how it's being administered at different places to comment on it.
Anthony?
Jim, when you look at your freshman class, what are traits from all those guys that you think they share and what they'll bring to your football team?
The new guys coming in? It's really good. It's like probably won't talk about it right now just because I'd leave somebody out that's going to be good. But we saw mid-year players, 11, 12, was it 12 or 13? They were really good. And then we got 11 more that came in June that are outstanding too. So it's a good class. It's a good group of football players. I got one I think is just an absolute absolute gift from the football gods.
Ivan?
Who?
Yeah.
Who wants to know who? We could just skip that for a bit.
I'm gonna write it down on a piece of paper here, seal it,
I'll take it.
just see if I'm not right. And
Is there when you look at the results of the Big Ten championship game year after year, the East wins, does that mean the East is better than the West? Is there a power imbalance?
I don't know. Is that a question or a statement?
Yeah. Is there a power? Do you feel like there is a power imbalance between the divisions?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know for sure.
Style of play any different in your mind from one to the other?
No, I can't say that there's much of a style of play difference. I don't know about that either. There is that much.
All right. Well, last question with Doug.
If I'm not sure about something, I try not to talk about it like I know that I'm sure of it when I'm not sure of it.
Sports writer, though.
Huh?
You can never be a sports writer.
I don't know about that either. We good?
Last question here.
You know, all the conference coaches, you guys interact with each other. How would you describe your relationship with Ryan Day at the moment? Just as two guys who've faced each other twice now.
Yeah, professional. You know, even at the Heisman, cordial. You know, at the when we're playing each other, you know, just come, you know, doing everything he can to have his team win. I'm doing everything I can to have my team win. Competitive.
And just to clarify, because it'll come up again in November, when after the game against Ohio State, you said there are people standing on third base that think they hit a triple, but they didn't. Was that a reference to Ryan Day?
I have no comment about that at this time.